Children love to learn new skills and they absorb new information like sponges. However, when presented with published information, can your students tell fact from fiction? How many times have you had students think that just because it's in a book that the story the author tells is a fact, confuse historical fiction with actual history, or present a work of fiction as a resource for a research project? Common Core standards require that students, starting in grade 2, demonstrate the ability to read and comprehend informational texts. These include history, social studies, science, and technical texts. How can you teach these skills to an entire class, especially without spending hours and hours of your time scouring the shelves of every library, used bookshop, and thrift store in town just to ensure that you have quality, engaging, and current materials that meet Common Core standards? Well, here comes Big Universe to the rescue. The core requires that students need to be able to identify and use various text features to locate key facts or information in a text effectively. These features include captions, bold print, subheadings, glossaries, indexes, electronic menus, and icons. Students must also be able to identify the main purpose of a text. Use Big Universe to teach your students how to tell the difference between fiction and informational texts, how to read and use informational text to find the relevant ideas and data for the research they are conducting, and when the information is gathered and sorted, students can use Big Universe Write to report and share their findings. Big Universe contains a large selection of fiction and nonfiction books that can be paired and shared with the entire class. We even have a few recommended pairings to get you started. You can use the vast assortment of books in Big Universe to examine, compare, and contrast the characteristics of fiction and nonfiction literature. Simply use a smartboard or a projector to share and discuss examples of each with everyone in your class, all at one time. After showing your students how to tell fiction from nonfiction literature, you can share the tricks and tips for reading informational texts with them to make their fact-gathering mission not only successful but manageable. You can even use Big Universe to assess your students' ability to tell the difference between fiction and nonfiction after the lessons are over. Assign each student or your class a random book and ask them to identify whether or not the book is fiction or nonfiction. Finally, you can have your students demonstrate their newly learned skills by writing and sharing their own nonfiction informational text using Big Universe. They can search for facts in Big Universe's abundant selection of nonfiction books, or you can assign specific books for your students to use. Then after reading the books, students can create their own informational texts with our writing tools and share them with you, their class, or even the entire Big Universe. Learning how to discern fact from fiction is essential for your students to meet Common Core standards and to succeed in their everyday life. Make planning, teaching, learning, and supporting the practice of these skills simple, effective, and fun with Big Universe. If you would like more information about today's topic or Big Universe, or to schedule a professional webinar, please contact us at biguniverse.com.